guys, welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Kira and this is my oldest child, Kat. Anyways, today we're going to be doing a makeup and mystery and we are going to be talking about a theory because this is something that intrigues me. And we're going to be diving into Elvis Presley because we're actually in the process of packing stuff up and moving to a new house. So, because my parents bought a bigger house. So, in that process, we're packing up my mom's stuff. My mom is a huge fan of Elvis. She has a ton of Elvis stuff. So that is something, that's why I thought of this topic, is because we were packing up my mom's Elvis stuff and in preparation for this move. So, my mom is a huge fan of Elvis and she actually would talk to me about it, her Elvis stuff, and about how she actually had planned to see Elvis in concert before he passed away, but he had passed away. Like, he was sick and he canceled the concert that she was gonna go to, and then he passed away. And I think that this whole Elvis Presley, like, it's intriguing. Something that kind of makes me laugh is my grandmother actually, like, will get my mother Elvis Presley stuff every year for Christmas, and I actually have this distinct memory of a few years ago, for Christmas, my mother got something for Elvis. I can't remember what it is. I mean, like, my mom has an Elvis fucking lamp, like, come on. But anyways, my grandma had got my mom something for Elvis for Christmas. It was a few years ago, and we were talking about it, and my dad was like, it'd be cool, but Elvis isn't really dead. And this set my mom off so much. It was so hilarious. Like, I've seen my mom get mad before, but I've never seen my mom get mad like that. It was hilarious. Like, she was pissed. And my dad's theory is that Elvis apparently had 3 life insurance policies, and he cashed out the first 2, but the third one is still there. And he said, my dad said, when that is cashed out is when the real Elvis has died. Which I actually think that the, like, life insurance policy has actually been proved to not, like, to be false. But my dad has interesting theories about, like people being dead and people being alive, which is why I like to talk to him sometimes about topics that I bring up in makeup and mystery, because I love to have his input, because his input is really hilarious at some points and also very intelligent. My dad's pretty smart. So, at least my dad's pretty smart for, like, on some things. Other things he's not that smart. Sorry, Daddy. But anyways, my dad thinks that Elvis Presley faked his death and went into hiding because of something to do with the mafia. Which, it's actually not a theory I see get thrown around a lot, to be completely honest. And when I was researching it, this, like, whole case, that was really intriguing because I was like, I could totally see why he would do that. But at the same time, there's also, like, so much, like, okay, so Elvis Presley was born into poverty. Like, his family, like, they did not have money like that. Like, I guess they kind of, like, struggled to get by. So he was really a true success story. He really rose to fame from, like, nothing. I mean, to go from being, like, they actually have even said that Elvis was the rags to riches story, which makes me want to play Sims 4. I want to like Sims 4. I really, really, really do. I want to like Sims 4 so bad. But it's so hard for me to. See, I have a unique way of playing The Sims. I'm waiting for The Sims 5 to come out. They need to make The Sims 5. They need to stop milking The Sims 4 for all they can, and they need to make Sims 5. Because I'm actually pretty sure that they're doing more damage to their reputation for The Sims and making it to where less people will actually purchase Sims 5 with the micro, like, with getting everything out of The Sims 4 that they can. Like, I think that that's actually gonna hurt them in the long run. But I do hope Sims 5 is gonna come out because I want to continue my little I have a personal Let's Play like I have been doing for myself, just playing with the game myself, and I want to actually do it on this channel, but what I want to do is play each game in a different generation. Like, start with Sims 3 with my first generation, do Sims 4 with the second generation, and then do Sims 5 with the third generation. And then Sims 4 or 6 with the fourth generation, or Paralives. I'm even open to purchasing Paralives and doing it in Paralives, because I don't go off of the stories that the developers made. I make my own. I find that more fun to make my own. But anyways, back to Elvis Presley. So he was really the rags to riches story, and something I actually didn't know, and I'm gonna talk about this now because it's on my mind. But Elvis Presley was a twin, which I did not know he was a twin. My mom actually has like a little plaque in her room about Elvis Presley and talking a little bit about his twin and stuff like that. His twin's name was Aaron, and his twin was born stillborn. And so when his twin was born stillborn, his parents decided to name Elvis after his twin brother, who was stillborn, which means he was dead when he came out. Like, he was not alive when he came out of the womb, unfortunately. And I think that that's actually something that's more common with twins. But anyways, Elvis's middle name was Aaron after his twin brother. And it was spelled in a unique way. It was spelled A-R-O-N. But Elvis actually did not like the spelling of his name, so when he was enrolled in school and stuff like that, he went by A-A-R-O-N, which is the more common way to spell Aaron. But that's the more common way to spell Aaron. And even on his tombstone, it's spelled A-A-R-O-N. And his birth certificate, again, is A-R-O-N, which people take that as to mean that Elvis is not dead, that he's alive, because his tombstone doesn't have his name spelled correctly, which, to be completely honest, you can really put anything you want on your tombstone. And his dad even came out and said, like, I spelled it like that because that was how he liked to spell his middle name, so I wanted it to be spelled the way he liked it, which, fair is fair. That's a pretty sentimental thing to say. So like I said earlier, my mom had planned to go to one of his last concerts, but it got canceled because he was sick. And this is actually a well-known fact. Elvis was really sick towards the end of his life. Like, he was really overweight. He was like 350 pounds. And as with so many celebrities, it seemed that Elvis was able to get his hands on prescription drugs, and he ended up getting addicted. We talked about that a lot in the Michael Jackson video, which, if you're curious about that, I do have a video up on Michael Jackson. I am such a fan of Michael Jackson, which is why I did Michael Jackson's case first, just because I was just listening to his music one night, and I was like, that'd be a good topic for a Makeup and Mystery, is to talk about Michael Jackson. I have some other celebrities I want to talk about, like Brittany Murphy and stuff like that, because those cases kind of intrigue me. But anyways, when Elvis was like dead, like when he died, which it was determined that he had heart failure, and that is how he died, was that he had heart failure. So when he died, obviously they did an autopsy and they really confirmed that he was really, really, really unhealthy, which we all kind of like knew because he was sick. But anyways, so God, I forgot where I was at. It was determined when he died that he had heart failure, but when they did his autopsy, I mean, they also confirmed that, like, everything was like engorged and he was obviously unhealthy. It was determined that he had a ton of prescription drugs in his system. I think it was something like $8,000 is what he was spending on prescription drugs. And like I said, we talked about this a little bit in the Michael Jackson case, where I don't understand why celebrities are able to get this like prescription drugs the way they can. Because no normal person like me or you would be able to get that. Like, I mean, I was fucking sick and pregnant and could not keep food down, and I was told I could only have my the medicine that allowed me to keep food down every 30 days, and they didn't give me a 30-day supply. So when I ran out, I literally had to get off of that medicine and then get back on it when I was able to get more, because they were worried about it. So people obviously like they could tell this was like a death of natural causes, obviously, after, you know, it was determined that he died of heart failure, but they still looked into his death a little bit and found his doctor, and they found like the medical records and stuff like that, and like I said, like, it was determined that he was getting like $8,000 in prescriptions. I mean, like, that's crazy. Like, back then, $8,000 in prescriptions now is a lot. So could you imagine how much those prescriptions right now would cost? Because I can tell you right now, my dad's heart medicine is $300. And that's expensive. So could you imagine the $8,000? By the way, I'm doing a Lunar Beauty order today. I'm so excited. My birthday is in 4 days. I'm so excited. So yes, I am doing a birthday haul at the end of the month, because I'm filming this in April. I'm also taking the kids to the doctor today. 3 o'clock. So, basically, Elvis Presley was like, he was so big. I mean, so big. I mean, they called him the king of rock and roll, and he really was. Like, he was so big. And, you know, there's so many sightings of him today, and people saying, like, that he's alive. And I think that Elvis Presley actually is, like, the most impersonated person in the world, and I think that when you listen to someone's music, you kind of feel like a connection to them, because they're singing about something like that maybe resonates with you. So you kind of feel a connection with them, and in that connection, you feel closeness to the artist, and that makes you kind of like want to be like more open to the fact that you don't want them to die. So, like, a part of me thinks that that's kind of why people see Elvis everywhere, is because, one, he has so many impersonators. Like, it's honestly unreal how many impersonators he has. But also because people really want to be open to the idea that their favorite celebrity, the person that, you know, they idolize, is not dead. Even though my mom very much idolizes Elvis. Like, I really wish I could take you guys into their room to see the Elvis shelf that is literally in her room, but I'm not doing that. But anyways, my mom is such a mega Elvis fan that she's so fiercely protective of the fact that, yes, he is dead, and don't tell her otherwise, because Elvis would not lie. I mean, there was even a video about, like, this worker at Graceland, which I haven't even talked about Graceland. Graceland is the mansion in Memphis, Tennessee that Elvis Presley lived in, and that's where he died. My mom actually toured it right after he passed away, and she really wants to go back, so I was thinking of sending her for, like, her birthday or something like that, or maybe I'll do it for my parents for Christmas or something. I don't know, I haven't decided. But my mom really wants to go back, and so there's like this man that works at Graceland that people caught on camera, and they really think that he was Elvis. And it's like, okay, full circle. faked his death just to go back to working to where he used to live. That is full circle. Not possible. Anyways, he, like, was caught on camera, like, scratching his head, and people were like, that's Elvis Presley signaling to us that he is alive. And he was literally just scratching his head with 2 fingers. And, like, the man actually had to come out and be like, no, I'm not Elvis Presley. I'm a real person. Which is crazy that he actually had to come out and... It's really crazy that he had to actually come out and be like, I'm not Elvis Presley. Like, I'm a real person. Like, that's crazy. And we haven't even dived into other stuff. Like, Elvis was in the military. He was really well known for... He married Priscilla, which I'm sure people know who Priscilla Presley is. And Lisa Marie Presley. But anyways, he married Priscilla, and he was really well known for cheating on his wife. Which, I mean... I can't stand cheaters, honestly. I think I'm gonna do something a little different. Take a shimmer and put it on my lower lash line. I actually kind of like how this looks. I'm very sad because I actually have 2 videos to film today, so I'm gonna end up having to take this look off and do another one, but I really like how this is turning out. So anyways, back to our story. You know, like, people really, I think, want to see Elvis still be alive, but at the same time, like, it'd be kind of sad. Because if he did fake his own death, then the reason he faked his death is because he wanted to get away from the limelight, which I don't know if people, like, celebrities have actually done this. I'll look more into it. I don't think Michael Jackson faked his own death. And if you're curious as to why I don't think it, I do go over my personal theory in my video, my makeup and mystery video, which will be up before this because I have these ones labeled for specific numbers to be put out at specific dates. So that one will be up. So if you're curious about that, just check out my Michael Jackson makeup and mystery. I do go over why I think he did not fake his own death, why I do think Michael Jackson is dead. And I'm kind of on the same line with this one. I don't think Elvis is dead, or I think Elvis is dead. I don't think he faked his own death, just because I think that it is entirely possible that celebrities would want to fake their own death because of the fact that they got so big and maybe they just wanted to go back to leading a normal life. So that I can see, but again, I don't, because there's just so much. Like, Elvis was really unhealthy before his death, and I mean, there was so much, like, media attention around it. Not to mention, like, you would have to pay off the police, the medical examiner, they'd have to fake stuff. Because, please remember that there's a body. They have a body. And this is really disgusting, but apparently one of Elvis's cousins had actually gone to Elvis's funeral and took pictures of Elvis's body and sold it to, like, some newspapers for like $18,000, I think is what the number was, which is, that's really disgusting. But people actually take the photos of Elvis at his funeral in the casket, because it was an open casket, and they say that that is proof that he's alive because he doesn't look like himself, which, when I saw the pictures too, I thought the same thing. I was like, that doesn't really look like Elvis. But if Elvis was found in really bad condition, then the medical examiner would do a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of stuff that I don't even know about. So, like, I could not even begin to comprehend how to explain the things that they do to bodies to get them to look good. But that could be an explanation as to why, if maybe he wasn't found in like the best condition, they had to like, you know, fix him up. People say that it's a wax statue. I don't think so. I mean, there was even a theory that like the casket was so heavy because it was a wax figure of Elvis, and there was like an AC unit to keep it cold because they were in Memphis, Tennessee, and it was hot. Which that just kind of makes me laugh. People will find anything. They find anything, but I don't think that that's possible. I think that it is Elvis, and he just had a lot of work done because of maybe the condition his body was found in. You know, the medical, like, they have to get the body prepared and look presentable. I, for one, have gone to one open casket funeral, and that was my grandfather's funeral on my mother's side in 2008. It was an open casket, and honestly, from what I remember, it just kind of like, he just looked peaceful. Like, he just looked like he was asleep. He just looked peaceful. He didn't look any different other than the fact that he looked peaceful. So I am not one to say, like, oh, well, they change after they die, because the only open casket funeral I've gone to is that one, and he didn't look, my grandfather did not look different to me. But I also want to point out that my grandfather lived in West Virginia. I didn't see him very, very often. I think I saw him like maybe a handful of times in my life, even though I was very, very close to my grandfather. And I wish he was still here, because Kai is named after his middle names. Kai has two middle names. Kai is named after both my grandfathers, who unfortunately passed away. So I would love for them to be here to see him, but I don't think that it's that big of a deal. But like I said, I mean, he just looked peaceful. So I guess that kind of adds on to people's theory about it being a wax figure. But I think he's dead. Like, I do think he's dead. I think that he was really depressed. But I think that he was really depressed. He was hooked on pain medicines. And I don't know. I think that the combination of pain meds and being depressed just kind of took its toll on him, and that's what happened. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was kind of fun. I actually like the look I came up with for this look. Like, I really like it. It looks really, really nice. Anyways, and it was pretty simple too. All I used was like 4 different shadows, and I did use the Archer pigment from ColourPop and Kathleen Lights. I love these. They don't sell them anymore. I will never get rid of them. They are my favorite pigments, hands down. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell. All that social media great stuff. I'm going to end it here, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys!